Alright, what's happening, everybody? This is Yoshimi, doing my first ever artist showcase interview. Tonight I have with me Sevenoceansdeep. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and talk a little bit about yourself and all that stuff and what you do.
Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Sevenoceansdeep. I'm a 28-year-old musician from North Carolina. I've been making music for about a decade now, and I write, produce, I record my own music. I pretty much am inspired by every genre under the sun. I'm inspired by a lot of films, like basically it all kind of like reverts back to like my childhood. Just like being exposed to like music for the first time, I guess, like it like fascinated me, like, you know, like I kind of had the childhood fascination with like sound. Like I'm like, how do they do this? Like, you know, when I was younger, like, and I don't know, I guess that magic still kind of lives on today, sort of.
Word. All right, word for sure. Yeah, when I listen to your music, I get a lot of that like nostalgia sound, like that, sort of like, I like to think of nostalgia as like a feeling that you capture that is like, you know, not really there anymore. So like, when I listen to your music, I get that. I definitely get that feeling. I don't know, you know, necessarily know if that's what you're trying to convey. That's just, you know, how I feel when I listen to it and stuff like that.
That's a really good one. I get that a lot, actually. To be real with you, man, part of me, I feel like I'm always kind of chasing a feeling that like I'm missing, sort of like a feeling that like I've always longed for. And so like I feel, you know, sort of like with music and like sounds, like, you know, like messing with samples and stuff, you know, I kind of feel like that feeling will never like go missing as long as I have music. So like, you know, like I guess part of it like came from, you know, music I listened to growing up. And, you know, I was exposed to a lot of, like, 1990s, like, alternative, like, you know, I got into that. And so that's a lot of my big inspiration. Also, as well as, like, you know, hair metal. I liked a lot of 80s rock. It was very, like, emotional. It's, like, very real. Very, like, very well-decorated sounds. I feel like with 80s music, and it was very like unique. Some of it, you know, is kind of corny, sort of, but also, you know, I was inspired by a lot of like, you know, Jimi Hendrix, you know, The Doors, Fleetwood Mac. Man, it goes on, like Led Zeppelin, like, you know, it just goes on. I've watched like, you know, a lot of documentaries growing up, like, you know, behind the music, like, you know, decades, you know, on VH1, I watched, like, you know, the, like, history, like, rock and roll type deal. I was exposed to a lot of that, like, as a kid, like, I was just like, you know, this is interesting, like, I want to learn more about this, like, you know, and, you know, because part of me always felt like I wanted to do music, but I feel like I never really like found the courage or like, you know, the confidence to actually like pursue music, you know, and finally, you know, it took like, you know, me being like starting to want to make music when I was like, you know, 18, like I started, and I'm 28 now, so, you know, it took one of my, you know, best friends being like, hey man, like let's mess around with some music, like, you know, kind of pushing me, like, you know, do it. And I didn't really feel like that element of like being able to find myself and like take myself serious. But, you know, like he still kind of put his efforts into, you know, my craft, and, you know, just kind of, you know, showed that he believed in me. So shout out to Shallow View Visuals He's from North Carolina as well. He's a independent filmmaker, director, cool guy. But that was part of the reason why I started making music.
Word. Okay, that's what's up. So were you playing like instruments before, like were you playing instruments and music before like Sevenoceansdeep started or anything like that?
So what happened basically, I played guitar a little bit when I was like 11. Like I picked it up, I was 11 or 12. I played guitar in my room, and I borrowed an electric drum kit from one of the kids at school.
Yeah.
Because he had one and he didn't really use it. And I was like, I tried to play in a band at one point in middle school. It was middle school or high school. I think it was high school. It was called All in the Making. And I tried to play drums, and it just wasn't really any like sort of like like chemistry with them. It was just kind of like we just all like had the same like sort of passion for music type deal. So we played like this is funny. So we actually we performed at our high school talent show, and then we played a gig at McDonald's. We played a gig at McDonald's for food. That's funny, but yeah.
That is really dope.
Yeah, I played a little bit of instruments, but like I never really got lessons and stuff. Like I wanted to get lessons, but I've had a pretty rough life growing up, so it was kind of hard, being with a family, like having one family car and a dad working all the time type deal. So going to school, coming home, it wasn't really time like for me to be able to like go out and do like extracurricular things, things of that nature. And so I think my grandmother tried to teach me guitar a little bit at one point, but yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
So when I definitely like relate to that, because like definitely a lot of like this like I didn't have like a lot of that either, like I didn't like have the time to do that. I never really had the resources to learn instruments and stuff like that, so I definitely feel that, and that is really dope that like have like a like to see artists and like musicians and stuff be like self-taught and stuff like that, and like that's a lot of what it is for a lot of people I know. Is just like it just comes from just messing around with stuff, experimenting with sounds, just
and I feel like as you get older, like it's like I feel like you're able to reinvent and rediscover like that part of you that like really wanted to learn something that you were passionate about that you never found time for. Like, and I feel like it's easy to find a way to fill your time like positively and like more healthier than spending your time like partying or substance abusing, like which I've had like I've had my stints with. So I feel like it's easier finding something that you're passionate about and like redirecting your focus into that, honestly.
Exactly. Like I really resonate with people who are like goal oriented and just have like things like that going on, whether it be just like a creative project or anything like that, because it really like it saves lives, honestly. Like
it keeps me, it keeps, honestly, I'll be real with you, like making music, it keeps me off the ledge, constantly.
I feel that.
Like when I feel like life isn't teetering in the direction that I want, and I feel like I'm not making traction, like or like I feel like I'm not making enough traction, or I feel like I'm not moving at the pace that I want to, like like actually, example, before you called, I really just had an episode, like I was trying to track guitar, and like I wrote this song like last year, and I had just finished mixing down like 2 songs. No, it was 3 songs. Holy shit. I just mixed like 3 songs. Like I finally got like my final mixes through them for the album, and like I started tracking guitar, and like I just, you know, I deal with a lot of like street noise in my neighborhood, and you know, like dogs barking type deal. And like I had sat here for like 2 hours at my computer, and I finally had gotten that like silence. And like as soon as I started tracking, I was just like, Jesus Christ, like here comes the noise again, like, and it just got me so frustrated. I was like, I don't think I like want to do this today, like type deal. Like it just turned me off to music, like type deal. But you know, like I always end up. I normally don't get that frustrated, but you know, like it's just like it's a part of the journey, man.
Yeah, exactly. You just have like I live in an apartment right now, so I definitely understand. You just have all these people, all these sounds and stuff, and you're like, you know, you're like trying to get something down, whether that be, you know, trying to record something or like just like focus on something, and it's definitely hard. But like, yeah, that is like I tell everybody that is like part of the like it's definitely part of that process. It's all the hard stuff. Because when the final product comes out, like, it's that much more worth it, you know? Like, it's like, it's just like, like, all that hard stuff, all that, like, you know, editing and, you know, writing and recording and stuff like that makes it all worth it in the end, you know?
Yeah, it does. I mean, it always, like, you know, it's always refreshing. Like, at the end, like, it's always rewarding and refreshing, but, you know, it's just, it keeps me off the ledge, you know, because like just for moments like that, just that was the example I wanted to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, what was it like first starting Sevenoceansdeep? Like, what were the early days of the project? What was the sound? What were all the stuff you were releasing? Like, what were you doing around that time?
So yeah, here was me. Damn, 2013. If I'm correct, 2013. The Lonely Hearts Club EP. So for future notation, a lot of this music doesn't exist anymore. There's a few people who have like my older stuff on, you know, their hard drives and stuff, but I lost, you know, my hard drive with my like whole entire life's work. Just like last year before maybe, or it's just earlier last year. So I kind of had to start over and like scrape up what I could out of my email. But so the Lonely Hearts Club EP, it was kind of like I pulled together all this stuff like that just sounded like interesting, like beats that I had from like producers that I listened to, like because it was a very creative and like very like vast sound, like in the 2012 like 2011 realm of like producing.
Yeah,
it was amazing. So like I tried to do like I did like sort of like heartbreak type songs. I did like a little bit of satirical music. I tried to do a little bit of street music. My favorite songs from that project, I actually have one of the songs. It was produced by Grief.
Okay, all right.
And it had a Foreign Forest feature on it. It's called Dreams of You. And I had another song from that album called Running from the Rain, and it was like a guitar instrumental from a Japanese producer. And so here's what happened. I heard it and I was like, okay, like I went off the top of my head and like sang over it, and I was like, dude, like this right here, like it was very vulnerable and like personal, but like, you know, that's more so the sound and style that I go for now. It's like being able to be like personal, like through my music, because a lot of times, you know, I find it hard to connect with other people like other human beings. Like, I find it hard to get to people on a personal level, and find it hard to be vulnerable with people that way. So, I mean, that when I did that, I was like, this is me. Like, this is who I want to sound like. This like feels like a true reflection of me. Like, you know, not like goofy shit that I did, you know, like, I don't know. I never felt like I was much of a rapper. Like, I can rap well. Like, you know, it's okay. But I guess a part of me grew out of that, you know, like, I don't glamorize or, you know, I don't glorify, like, you know, street life, you know, type deal through my music anymore or anything like that, you know, smoking weed, like, you know, I make references to, like, smoking weed and stuff, but, like, I guess, like, part of me I grew up out of that, like, so.
Okay, all right, yeah, no, definitely, like, I feel that. I think that's a similar situation, because, like, that's what I started out, like, as a rap project in a group, and then I just realized I kind of didn't want to, like, really do that anymore. But
was it kind of like ICP type deal?
Yeah, like, yeah, it kind of was.
I feel like you would be like an ICP kind of guy.
Yeah, it kind of was. Like, I was doing, like, that kind of stuff. Like, I was in this rap group in high school, and, like, I was doing, like, the horrorcore type stuff, and like, I still have a love for that, and I kind of want to bring that back in my new sound, because I'm, like, working on reinventing my sound a little bit. But, like, I just, like, I wanted to do something more, like, personal and like extreme and stuff like that. So that's how I, like, started being a noise artist. So yeah, no, like, definitely I feel like it's cool to see people's, like, sound evolve over time. And even if it's just, like, a totally different sound, I think that no matter what, you should just always, like, be utilizing, like, different sounds and stuff like that as an artist. And
yeah, that's how I feel. Like, I feel like I'm always constantly, like, changing and, like, you know, growing. I feel like I knew what I wanted to do. Like, I, like, privately, like, would listen to, like, you know, indie music when I was, like, younger, like, you know, 2010, 2011. I listened to, like, a lot of Mansions, a lot of Bon Iver, Postal Service, the Shins, you know, things of that category, Two Door Cinema Club. Like, I was super, like, into, like, you know, softer music, and I never felt like, you know, I would always hear people be like, you know, oh, bro, like, you should make music that goes hard type deal. And I felt a lot of pressure from people around me, like, telling me, like, you know, what type of sound I should have, you know, like, from my peers. I felt like I listened more to the outside voice than I listened to my own inner voice. Yeah, because that's the thing. And I also want to say, like, you know, like, to each their own, like, you know, whatever people, like, choose to sound like, choose to do, like, you know, is cool. Like, I can listen to practically anything. I don't place judgment on people for, like, you know, how they sound, but it was me more so personally. Like, I was more particular about, like, my sound and, like, you know, what type of energy I was putting out, and, you know, like, how I was reflected through my music, you know. Yeah. I guess it's kind of like a self-conscious type deal, maybe, or maybe just, like, I just want to be clear about how, like, people receive me. Word. Like, how I project myself.
Yeah, definitely. I get the, like, I definitely, like, yeah, that's, because I think that, like, a lot of artists, especially newer artists and stuff like that, when they're first starting out, I felt that way, is that they have to feel like they have to put out, like, the hardest stuff, or, you know, anything, when it's not, like, it's not all about that. You don't got to put out something that sounds crazy. Like, it can sound crazy in a totally different way, you know, like make the music that you want to make, you know, and all that stuff. So I think that as good as just, like, ultimately listen to that inside voice and, like, what do I as the artist, you know, want to make.
Yup, I was also influenced by Bones a lot. Team Sesh Bones.
Yeah.
I utmost respect for that guy. I really was inspired by Bones a lot, and so, like, I would always always listen to his stuff. And, I seen the way he was growing through each project he dropped, and it started with the Saturn EP that I heard produced by Eric Dingus. I heard that and I was like, dude, what is this? What are these sounds? They're crazy. But yeah, that was also a thing for me. I felt I felt like I kind of had to keep up. I felt like I had to grow through my sound as well. I guess it was more so a healthy. It was I felt a healthy sense of competition. Because I've cranked out a lot of projects in my day. I made a lot of music. So. But yeah, no, I just wanted to throw that one out there.
Yeah, no, Bones definitely is the GOAT. One of the greatest to ever do it. Sesh, all that stuff, that whole group.
I wanted to be Sesh so bad at one point in my life, dude. I really wanted to be Sesh. Also, I want to give a shout out to Alalu. He was a former Team Sesh as well. I made music with him. We made music together for goodness years. We don't quite get up as often as we used to, but it was every day for almost four years, making songs.
That's what's up.
Him producing for me, amazing, talented, gifted, underrated producer. Alalu. I just wanted to give a shout out to him as well. Just, big reason that I keep pursuing music. He always pushed me to keep, furthering my sound and just keep kind of moving forward. Because I would be I'd be stuck on a record and I'd be I'd be dang, I feel like I can't move on from this song, but he was just kind of here's something new type deal, and I would be instantly inspired. So yeah, just shout out to him.
Word.
For real.
So I see you have you have a presence on the internet and stuff like that. Would you consider is there a scene in North Carolina for arts and music? Do you know people in that scene, all that stuff, or would you consider you have more of a presence in the internet music scene?
So I don't feel like I much have presence in the local scene anymore. I actually started talking to somebody recently from the local Winston-Salem scene. He reached out to me, after I had a situation, and we met up, talked. He shared some music with me. Really great guy. I more so feel I'm not as included in the local scene as I am, with people on the internet, because I've been on the internet so long, and I've made accounts, came and gone, disappeared, taken breaks, come back, so I feel like I've connected and gotten closer with people online than I have in real life. I've gotten together with people, and I've done performances. I've performed a few times live.
Okay.
And most of the time they went really great, but it's more so I feel like me as an artist, I don't really mesh in the same direction or realm that people locally around me do. I guess it's more so people make swag music, jug music, shit that's poppin' type deal.
Yeah.
But I feel like I went left, and I found my own realm of music, so I connect with a lot of different people. So, but I don't think so much more. I have a presence either place, really.
Yeah.
I kind of ease back on my my internet persona. So I guess more so these days I'm focused, like, you know, on actually being able to really do music the right way, like financially being able to fund like my life, you know, my art, you know, promotion. And like I said, you know, I'm working on an album right now, so and it sounds damn good. Sounds damn good so far. But either way, you know, it's all love in both directions for, you know, the local and the global.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So yeah, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about your album that you're working on. Let's talk about like what's the deal on that? What's the inspiration? What are you working on right now?
So I'm working on this album, and it's called I Hope They Take EBT in Heaven.
Okay. All right.
And so my last album, it's ruins, it's history. It was titled Angel from the East Coast. And I'd been working on it for almost 4 years. So I had been working on it a long time, and like I finally started getting my sound together. But I started something new. So I always kind of have this ghostly, hollow like feeling about me, you know, sort of. And so a lot of times I like find myself in a heavenly state, like when I'm alone, like when I'm like biking to work type deal, like when I'm listening to music and or like creating, and like I'm just able to like feel free type deal. So I feel very heavenly like a lot of times. But you know, I've been pretty poor most of my life. I came from a really good family, but you know, I have kind of had to, you know, front my way most of the way through, you know, like my life, because, you know, I chose to pursue arts and, you know, skateboarding and, you know, music and things like that. So I've kind of been poor my whole life, and, you know, I never really cared about money or anything like that. You know, there was a point where I didn't care about like the clothes that I wore, the way that I looked, the way people saw me. Like the only thing that I cared about like was being able to make art. And so like, you know, it was a few months, it was like a month or so ago. I was like, you know, I was walking out of a store, and, you know, I was jokingly like, man, I hope they take EBT in heaven, like type deal. Like, and it just stuck with me, like, just more so conceptually, like, I was like, you know, damn, I was like, I hope they take EBT in heaven. And I was like, wait, this is what I'm going to call this album that I'm working on. And, like, just like, it's kind of like, you know, kind of accepting the fact that, you know, like, I might always feel like, you know, I'm going to be looked down on, you know, if I don't, you know, match up or scale up with, like, you know, who people think I should be, like, you know, like, I'm okay with that. Like, I don't want to be seen as anything other than myself.
Yeah.
Like, I think, you know, eventually I'm going to find a way to make myself well off in life. Like, but, I guess it's more so, like, I just hope, you know, like, I hope when the day comes, like, I hope people, like, accept me for me, like, and, you know, people don't remember me for a dollar amount that was, like, next to my name, but, you know, remember me for the person that I was, or, like, the impact that I made on them, and, you know, the lives that I'm, like, able to touch, like, doing music, you know. It's not necessarily, like, an ego contest for me anymore. Like, you know, I don't feel like I have to be in competition with other people. Like, I hear other people, like, you know, create, and I'm like, wow, dude, like, this is amazing, like, this is awesome, like, and it inspires me to, like, you know, make my own type deal. But I don't feel that sense of, like, competitiveness, like, with art and music. Like, I feel like I just want to be seen for who I am,
Yeah, nah, definitely. Like yeah, like I definitely feel that that's a really dope name for the album. Like I think that is really chill and stuff like that. So like what's the sound that you're going for with this new album?
It's kind of sort of like it's like
Mm-hmm.
ambient, acoustic, and dreamy, sort of like sad romance as well type deal. I can always, if you'd like, I can share something with you. Like,
Yeah, totally. If you wanna play something right now, or if you wanna send something to me and I can put it in when I edit it, like totally, I'm totally down.
let me see. I'll play you. I'll play you a line from a song that I was working on that I finished today. I'll play you like the chorus.
Okay, for sure.
Standing in the distance as she drives away so slow, staring at the sun. Don't think I've ever felt so lonely. Wish someone would hold me. Wish someone would have told me. I'm riding through the city without her here to console me. Now I miss the old me, thinking of the phone and staring at your pictures, recollecting the love you sold me. Sitting by the water just with hopes that I can figure out the reason that you're leaving, even though I know you're coming back.
That's awesome. That sounds really dope.
I kind of messed up. Messed up there at the end. But,
that's totally fine. That sounds awesome. That sounds really like sick. Like I can't wait to hear the like finished product and all that.
Yeah, dude, for sure. Thank you for hearing me out, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. So we're running. I do apologize. We are running up on time here. But I want to talk about what's next for Seven Oceans Deep. Like, what is the future?
So hopefully, dude, really one day I would ultimately I'd like to be like producing for people. I would like to like be like really like in the studio, like people like being like, okay, like hearing the stuff that I make, and they're like, all right, like we need this guy like in our studio, like we need this guy out here, like helping us develop our sound, like type deal, like people like wanting to, I guess people desiring to hear like, you know, what I can help them sound like. I would like to like help people develop themselves like through sound, because I feel like I've messed with so many genres. Like I feel like I really have it down pat.
Yeah.
I'd like to be producing for people.
Okay.
And I would maybe even one day like to join a band. I would like to like I'd like to start a band with somebody, like, you know, like I'd like to do like an indie like shoegaze band, like somewhere in that realm, like indie rock and shoegaze. That's like the realm. I feel like that's the realm that I've drifted more towards these days. Like, that's most of my influence now. But
all right.
Yeah, like I just kind of grew up like with the underground scene. So yeah, like, and I guess it just like, you know, part of me was like, you know, I guess I discovered it like a part of myself that like wanted to be a different person, like wanted to make different music, I guess, and I didn't, you know, I don't stay with the same sound like always. So
awesome.
But yeah, man. Hopefully being able to get this album out here, and I'd like to get it playlisted and, you know, kind of, I'd like to really get this one out here. Like, I feel like I kind of drop things and put them out there for people to hear now. But like, I would really like to like for people to hear this one.
Word. Awesome. Yeah. No, thank you so much for taking the time to like let me interview you. It's been
thank you, Seth. Thank you for taking the time out your day, man.
Yeah.
It's been awesome talking to you.
For sure.
Is there anything else that you...
Is there anything? I think I'm good. Is there anything anybody you want to shout out? Anything else you want to say? All that stuff.
Yeah, I just want to shout out. I'd like to shout out all the women in music. You all inspire me. I'd like to shout out everybody who supports me, all my friends, like who listen to my music. Jeez. I just like to shout out anybody out there that's listening, anybody that hasn't heard me in a while. I hope you stumble upon me soon. I'd like to give a big shout out to you, and just, that's really it.
All right. Thank you.
Just shout out to all my friends who have helped me grow in music and along like through this journey, like 10 years.
Awesome.
So,
well, I can't wait to see what the finished product, the album's like. I can't wait to see what's in store for you. And thank you so much for being my first interview and taking the time.
I'm proud. I'm honored. I'm super honored.
So yeah,
you're a good guy to talk to. Very, very personable, like very professional. Yeah.
YouTube.
Go check out his YouTube channel.
Yeah, go check out Sevenoceansdeep. Go check out Sevenoceansdeep. And yeah, with that, this has been Yoshimi, and I hope everybody has a good night.